Taking part in a triathlon requires many long hours of training. We're spending time with the dynamic duo Claire and Kent Horner to hear more about their intensive routine and what keeps them motivated.
Let's talk a bit about the training of a professional triathlete. I mean, how do you go about balancing all the different disciplines and then still ensure that you fit in each and every one of them?
So you train all three and reach all three at the same point. I think that's the big catch, and quite often you get maybe one or two out of the three up to that level and get to race day and your other discipline's lagging a bit. So yeah, I suppose that's where my wife comes in, and she's the one that puts the plans together, and she's got to answer to it.
What we often do is we do certain blocks of training. So we'll do like a 3-week block of big running if we find our running is not so good at the moment. So then we'll work really hard on the running, and the cycling and swimming will be less so.
Competitors race against the clock. During the off-season, the duo work on their weakest disciplines. Kent will focus on running and Claire on swimming. Training requires patience and willpower. This couple made it a priority, no matter how busy their lifestyle.
So what time does your day start?
At the moment we get up at about 4:45 and we're in the pool by 5:30, and we do our first session 5:30 to 7, and then if we can we squeeze in an extra sleep, or we go for our second session at about 7. Both of us are lucky enough to not have a full 8 to 5 job, so we generally finished about 4:30 or so to start our next session at 5 o'clock. So yeah, on a good day we get 3 sessions in, but most days about 2.
Consistency is key. There's no quick route to triathlon success. It's a slow process of increasing the mileage week by week. Training with a partner has many motivational benefits, and this husband and wife team enjoy spending time together and spurring each other on.
Look, it's always nice as the girl to have a little bit of a challenge and to see that, okay, that's where you want to be. And we've often had those bets where Kent will say, okay, well, if you stay with me on a bike up this hill, I'll give you $50. And I've learned now that with our group of cyclists, I get the other 3 guys together and I make them, you know, keep Kent back so I can get ahead of him, and then I get my $50 and I split it between the 3 guys.
Also remember the triathlete's secret weapon, the 2-minute rule. Exercise becomes easier and more fun after the first 120 seconds. So concentrate on getting through those first couple of minutes.
Kent, what is the difference between someone that just wants to complete a triathlon like the half Ironman and someone who's going out for a win?
Oh look, I mean, an event like the half Ironman and Ironman, they're not small events. It's not a short race. I think a lot of guys can get away with some shorter races with a little bit of training, but events from that, you actually got to put in some time and do the training. But the longer you train and the many years you put into it, you know, the faster you get. So the guys that are coming in the top 10 are putting in serious hours. They've been at it, and hours wise, I mean, you could probably get away with it with about 12 hours a week of training, compared to your pros who are putting in about 30 hours a week.
Well, it sounds like you guys are burning up a lot of energy, and of course you need to put back that energy somehow. So what are some of the supplements that you swear by when it comes to energy?
As energy levels go, I mean, you can ride for 6 hours and you can be the most conditioned athlete in the world, but you can't go 6 hours on just water. So that's where your supplements come in, such as your Enduro Sport, your Cyto Power, and it's 2 different products. And we were told to actually mix the 2. So Enduro Sport obviously gives you your carbs, and your Cyto Power is your electrolytes. And then our gels that we've got, our Cyto Power gels, we quite enjoy those.
It's very important to experiment with different nutritional practices before and during workouts to see which fueling strategy works best for you.
Now with all this training, injury can happen quite easily. Now, how do you go about managing or minimizing the risk for injury?
You know, just your general strengthening, everyday strengthening really makes a big difference. After my bout of injuries, I hit the gym and now I swear by it, and I don't miss those 2 sessions every week.
And Kent, how important is recovery when it comes to your training?
Yeah, I think with all training, you're going to have your set training program, but ideally you've got to listen to your body. You've got to take all your shakes and that and replenish what you've lost, but you know, you might get to a point where you actually need a day off.
And Claire, what are some of the supplements that you love to use to make sure that you recover properly?
I swear by Recover Max. It's a great, I mean, it's got everything. It's got the protein, it's got the carbohydrates, and after a big training session, especially your long sessions, you need the all-round recovery, not just your protein or your carbohydrates. And then always go back to glutamine, but I always add a little bit of glutamine to that, and that seems to round up everything that you need.
All these preparations build up to one thing, race day. Tune in tomorrow for a unique insight into triathlon events.